Which speakers sound more like Slash, A or B? Let me know in the comments and I'll reveal which one was which later in the video. So can you sound like Slash using any speaker, or do you need the exact gear that he used? I've got 3 different speaker cabs mic'd up here. One of them is behind me. 2 of them are Slash's favorites, and one of them is a little bit more of an affordable option, but still one of Marshall's most popular speaker cabs. I'm gonna play some Slash riffs from different eras so you can hear the characteristics, and then also which one I would choose if I could only keep one. So let's break down the cabs first, and then we'll get into the full tone comparison. So the first cab is the Marshall 1960 AX, which is loaded with 4 Celestion greenback speakers. It's only 100 watts with all 4 speakers together, so it's got less headroom, meaning it's going to break up a little bit sooner, making your overdrive a little bit more fizzy. And if you're doing clean tones, they might sound slightly more overdriven. Next, we have the Marshall 1960 AV cab, which has 4 Celestion G12 vintage speakers in there, which are meant to be very close to the vintage 30 style speakers. Slash used vintage 30 speakers, but since the Marshall 1960 vintage cabs that you buy now all have these ones in, I just thought it's best to do that. It's 280 watts altogether, so we've got loads more headroom than the greenbacks. That should, in theory, give us more headroom before it starts to break up and get a little bit more distorted and gritty, and it might be a little bit nicer on the clean tones as well. And lastly, we have the most affordable cab of the 3, but it's still a widely popular choice. I think it's Marshall's best-selling cab, to be honest. It's the 1960A lead cab, and it has the G12 T75 speakers in it. It's a lot more modern and scooped than what Slash usually used, so I'm interested to hear what it sounds like up against these other 2 speakers that Slash favours. It's 300 watts altogether, so we've got plenty of headroom for clean tones and lead boosts as well. And I think Marshall use these a lot now because they're a perfect all-rounder. It's kind of got a nice range of frequencies, so you can kind of do anything on it. But if you want more character, I think the other types of speakers might give you their own sort of distinct sounds. Right, let's hear them, shall we? For all the examples, I'm using the Marshall AFD/signature head, apart from the clean tones where I'm going to use the JCM 2525C amp. If you want to know about the guitar, I've got a video which you can see up here. Woo-wee. Whoa. It's really thick sounding. It sounds great. It definitely does sound more modern, this. Like, it sounds fantastic. It's nice and beefy in the low end. It sounds fantastic in the room. It sounds nice and bright, recorded. It's definitely got that modern sound to it, though, which isn't a bad thing. It might sound better for the Velvet Revolver stuff, which I'll show later on. So instantly, there's less low end. So I can feel it in the room and I can hear it in the recording as well. It's got more mids. It's got like a crunchy, there's more attack as well. Feels brighter. There's a lot more clarity. It's more classic overdrive. It has got that vintage sound. So it's got more low end. I can feel the low end coming through on these speakers, more so than them, strangely. Straight away, there's a fizziness. There's a fizziness to it, grittiness. Got a really nice tight low end. But I don't like the fizziness. I think maybe with a bit lower gain might give you some really nice authentic 60s classic rock sounds. It's not bad, it sounds great, don't get me wrong. I prefer that one so far, the vintage 30s. It's a mid-range that I'm not enjoying. Switch it over to the number 34 mode. Lordy me, that's a beast. I don't know what to say. What's my favourite of them? just sounds phenomenal. So I'm gonna try some clean stuff now. I've got the Silver Jubilee plugged in. Definitely prefer the vintage for the clean stuff over the 1960 lead because it's a little bit too harsh on the high ends. And someone knocking on the door. I thought someone was knocking on the door, but they're not. Yeah, it's a little bit harsh on the high ends and a little bit too boomy and bassy. You probably compensate for it using EQ, but as it is, better for the cleans. Yeah, hear how that one's breaking up? Oh, I quite like it. Wowza, Renus. Oh. Wow. Well, after listening to all three speaker cabs, it's safe to say there's no one perfect speaker. They're all great at different things. I think I've got my favourite, but it's tough. Like, I was only going to keep one of these. And I don't think I'm going to be able to only keep one. I think my favourite overall, though, is the vintage version. 1960 AV is definitely the most Slash sounding cab because it's got more mids and more of a classic rock tone, which is Slash's vibe all day long. I feel like the greenbacks give you a little bit of a fizzy sound to the overdrive. When you're doing clean tones, it definitely breaks up way earlier than the other ones. So if you want super clean tones and you don't want any breakup whatsoever, then the greenback speakers may not be for you. I think the 1960 lead cab with the T75s in, if you're doing modern rock, it's so great. It's got a punchy low end, really tight top end. Which speakers are your favourite? Which ones would you buy? Let me know in the comments section. The thing is, the speakers are only one small part of Slash's sound. If you really want to get closer to that iconic tone, I highly recommend watching this video next because I show you just how much of a difference some of the other elements make when it comes to guitar tone. So have a great week and I'll see you in the next one.